As we understand, this is a very important day in our history. It was 58 years ago that Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, called for the first African Union meeting. That was in 1958. And this day, and that was in April 1958. One of the things that Kwame Nkrumah institutionalized was African Freedom Day. African Freedom Day was later changed in 1963 with the founding of the African Union. With the founding of the Organization of African Union, African Unity, that has now changed to African Union. So this African Liberation Day is our day that was given to us by our elders. And our elders said we must keep this day sacred. This is a sacred day amongst us and amongst our people. African Liberation Day is being celebrated throughout the United States of America, in Europe, in the Caribbean, in South and Central America, and on the continent itself. The All-African People Revolutionary Party is proud to have played a part in establishing and institutionalizing African Liberation Day. We understand when most holiday comes around, it is nothing more than a shopping day. But African Liberation Day for us is a very serious day. It is a day of unity amongst our people. It is a day when we come to dedicate ourselves to the struggle of our people. It is a day when we come to better understand our history and our culture. If one does not understand their history and their culture, then they are lost. Because no people exist that does not produce culture. All people have produced culture. The thing with culture in this time is that the European want to dominate all aspects of culture. But we Africans say we've been here from the beginning of time, and no one will dominate us forever. They might dominate us for a minute, but never for any time longer. Because African people, like all people, love their freedom. And African people, wherever they are, will always struggle to be liberated, to be free. We just gonna introduce that aspect of African Liberation Day, and now we're gonna move into the program. The first part of this program, like all African program, we must start by giving thanks to our ancestors. We stand on the shoulder of our ancestors. Without our ancestor, we'll be nothing. We'll be nothing. Regardless how high we reach, we are nothing without our ancestors, because they are the one that set the foundation for us. They are the ones that create our holy days. They are the ones that imbued us with this desire to keep advancing. People might say we have not made no progress, but we have made tremendous progress. When I was born, the world was colonized. The world was colonized by Europeans. But our people who love justice, who love freedom, were determined and are still determined to be free. So the independent movement spread like wildfire throughout the continent of Africa, throughout the Caribbean, throughout wherever people were oppressed. We, the African continent, after being colonized for so many years, were free. We know it's like independent, but nonetheless, we must understand that this is a step in the direction of liberation. So in order to understand where we are, we must understand where we're coming from.
That's true, that's true.
If we don't understand where we're coming from, it will look like we're standing still. True. But we are not standing still, we are always moving.
Yes.
And we are, every day we get closer to our liberation and our unification. Our people will become more conscious each and every day. Our people are more conscious. It might not appear that way because all we see on the television are lies.
That's right.
Are lies.
Live vision.
So if we want truth, you got to understand what I'm saying, what Sister Black Rose is saying, what Sister Dama is saying, what Brother Ijo is saying, and what our cultural artists who are conscious are saying. Because we understand not every artist are conscious. Some of them work for the other side. What we want today more than anything is to make our people conscious. We want our people to think. We don't want our people just to react. Because a lot of people, they said, Hillary and Sanders are running to be president. Oh, I'm going to vote for this one. I'm going to vote for that one. They're one and the same. There's no big difference. They represent capitalism at its worst. You don't even have to talk about Trump. People automatically know Trump is corrupt. Trump said he was praying that the housing market would crash so he can make billions. But you know, today I'm excited and I could talk forever, but we have a program to do. So we're going to start with a program, the first order of business, and this is a tradition that we must always adhere to. We got to go to our culture. We must honor our elder. We must honor our ancestor. We're going to call Sister Black Rose to the podium to pour libation.
Internalize these words. So kindly repeat after me. We are our ancestors reincarnated.
We are our ancestors reincarnated.
Every step we walk together.
Every step we walk together.
Their positive contributions.
Their positive contributions.
Our guidelines forever.
Our guidelines forever.
Can you feel?
Can you feel?
Can you hear?
Can you hear?
The echo.
The echo.
The echo.
The echo.
Of our ancestors.
Of our ancestors.
Call and response is our ancestral tradition, centuries old. And so when we call and respond, we are just keeping our ancestral legacy alive. And we will pass on our ancestral legacies alive for eternity. We will never forget their undaunted struggle to take us higher. And we will take the baton and go higher and pass it to the next generation, like our great ancestor Marcus Garvey commanded us to do, to take the baton and carry it as far as we can in progress, pass it to the next generation, carry it as far as we can in progress, and each generation does the same. And this is where our African liberation will take place.
Yes, sister.
Yeah.
Our African liberation, that is a scientific strategy for our African liberation.
Right.
And the liberation of our people and our continent, our homeland. Everybody say yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to pour libations because before any meaningful occasion takes place, We have to give tribute to our ancestors. That is what pouring libations is about. We tribute our ancestors because they dedicated their lives to take us to higher heights towards liberation. So we will tribute their efforts and continue on the same path. So we will call the names of those ancestors as I pour water into the plant, which is a sign of fertility. The fertility and the coming of our total liberation of our continent and our people.
Yeah.
We will call the names of those ancestors. And we will say Ashe after each name. Marcus Garvey.
Ashe. David J. Garvey.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Sonny Allocator.
Bobby Teray.
Secretary.
Patrice Lumumba.
Ida B. Wells.
Kwame Ture.
Harriet Tubman.
Elon Brown.
Ya Asantwa.
Our Joseph Branch.
Emperor Mendeley.
Dr. Ben. Dr. Clark.
Somebody last time.
Ethan George. Marley.
Tina D.C. Harris.
He's a Tash.
Sandra Russell.
We call our families too.
Dorothy Hooker.
Darren Louis Aito.
Good.
Empress of Quaker.
Miriam Bell.
Harriet Tubman.
Franklin Funtley.
Nani.
Courtney Perry.
Desiree.
For all those ancestors whose names we did not call, but are in our hearts, and we tribute them as well. Ashe.
Ashe.
We tribute our ancestors every step we walk together. Their positive contributions, our guidelines forever.
We can't really function without our instrument. The drum is a very important instrument. The drum is what calls us together. The drum keeps our rhythm going. And you know we are very people with rhythm.
That's right.
We love to dance, we love to sing. It's in our bone, it's in our gene, it's in our DNA. Okay, we have part of the African Love Institute, not the full. So Sister Dama from the African Love Institute gonna do something for us. Sister Dama.
So, Tyrese Afrique planted the colors of the red, black, and green wherever he conquered, thank you, because Ethiopia, ancient Ethiopia was liberated. So wherever he conquered, he planted the colors of the red, black, and green. That's truly where the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey got them from. I'm sure through his research and his reading, he was able to unveil and reveal the truth and reinstate and reestablish these colors for I and I. Give thanks. So, we are going to do, I thought it was most fitting to do one of the dances that represents courage, bravery, because when we're talking about liberation and the emancipation of our people, it takes us to go to the depths of ourselves to find the courage to emancipate and liberate not only ourselves but future generations. So we're going to do the Dudumba, because the Dudumba, as I said, speaks about the bravery. Now, Brother Raphael, I want to give another salute to him. Because he's always there whenever I call on him. We've been working together for over 20 odd years. So, but the time constraints, so we didn't get to actually practice. But he's a master, and I'm a teacher and a student same way. So I know we're going to do something special in spite of the fact that we don't have the other accompaniment here with us. Oh, what I'm going to ask you to help us out now. The rhythm by rhythm goes like this, so you're going to be accompanying us right about now. You're not going to just sit there and spectate. You will be a part of it. Because this is not a show, this is for real.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Our mothers and our fathers, the chiefs, the warriors on the battlefield, they laid down their lives, but they made great sacrifices, right? Through their bravery, and through they know that we as a people must continue, and traditions must continue. So, the music I'm going to clap my hand and show you what I would like for everyone to participate. It's, One of our historians said, "Are you ready for the revolution?"
dance looked like it was beating down Babylon. Beating it to the very foundation.
Say that message.
Yes.
Yes.
We are gonna see if this other dancer would like to do something for us. She's here by way of California. You know the branches of the All-African People Revolutionary Party stretch all around the world. So we're gonna call Sister Love to come and be with us. And see if she'll do something for us.
Sister Truth. All right.
California, our music, our culture. Join us wherever we are in the world. It's just that it's being denied to us. And what they seek to promote is not the conscience of the culture, but they want to promote things to dumb us down. But we refuse. We keep rising. We will not be stopped. And we keep reaching and lifting each other up. As we continue the program, we're going to call one of the speakers, my brother, Brother Aital Kofi, representing WADU, the World African Brother Kofi, the hardest man in the organization.
After Shaka. Hotel family, Bargan family, and all the other beautiful African greetings. It's always a pleasure. It's more than a pleasure, my duty as an African, genetically, as a Pan-Africanist, ideologically, and in solidarity with the movement of AAPRP, of which Brother Shaka is also part of WADU from Brooklyn. So thank you, family, thank you, Brother Shaka. And thank you, dancers, and thank you, drummer, in our African tradition. So, as Brother Shaka, when he opened this ceremony, it's a celebration of African Liberation Month, and the day was last Wednesday the 25th. So we have been having, that is the Pan-African Family Committee, a series of events, all in the spirit. All in the spirit. And what is very good about that? Because Queen Black Rose mentioned it. The whole purpose of culture is to transmit it. Otherwise, it serves no purpose, right? If when you make tradition is gone with you, what purpose does it serve? And that's why we have these institutions like the church, Roman Catholic Church, and other institutions, that as soon as the Pope makes his transition, another Pope is elected, but there's an institution to take on that culture. So we have to do the same. So why it's very important, and I appreciate love all to see the children. So let's give it to all the children. Let's give it up for their parents and their grandparents. All right. Who are conscious enough not to leave the children at home. As my brother and I were dialoguing when I come to Ross. They put it, technology, the technology from with. That's right. And brother Shaka alluded to it, the television. So many of us, what we have to do, we go over there with the children and with television, right? And then we gadget them, right? See, to confuse them. So we really appreciate the children. So, just quickly, it's a celebration. And Brother Shaka, again, I'm just feeding on what was said before. That's what we do. Brother Shaka said, we have things to celebrate. Because many of us, the condition we see ourselves in, we feel really down. It makes us down. When you walk on the street, when you turn on the television, when you see everything up around, it makes us feel sometimes really depressed. Are we going forward? Are we going backward? Are we standing still? So what Brother Shaka said, our ancestors and Queen Black Rose, our ancestors have made tremendous sacrifices, martyrdom, to get us where we are today. And so it is our duty to build on that. In fact, family, as I said, we have been going to numerous events. Last week, 19th, what's the 19th of May? What's it? Apartments also, as I learned, Queen Kai's Earth Day. So, but another great event. Malcolm X, of course, right? I'm a wallet, Malcolm X, Earth Day. So we were at the shrine, as we usually do every year. We take the bus from the state building up and we came back. And then that evening, I went to something like, this is my prayer, at the state building, to the 416 and so on. And so yesterday, we were at the African Union, that is the World African Diaspora Union, and just quickly it says here, saluting our revered ancestors, honoring our visionary founders, appreciating their sacred sacrifices, and building on their lasting legacies. So we are, thank you Sister Kai and Brother Abayomi for assisting with the program. So now here we are at another event, as we celebrate. So we have a lot to celebrate for, to give thanks to these great leaders, and some we don't see up here, but so many of them, all over. And Brother Shaka would remind us that we are African wherever we are, whether it's in Africa or outside of Africa. So why are we here today? Celebration, ceremony and rites, identity. Who are we? Is that a simple question? Who are we? We should know who we are, but let's send to the rest again. All the animals in the animal kingdom, they operate in order, with the natural order, don't they? Yes. They're not confused. They're not confused. We see the season. Now it's spring, right? What we see happening, you see the plants them shooting. Automatically they come up. And we see night and day, and we act in symbiosis with it. But human beings, they want to go against the order. So even to call some of our very people an African is an insult to them. You know that, right? They will tell you. In fact, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, when he founded or when he formed the UNIACL, that's exactly why he did it. Because in this time, black people saw themselves as Negroes. So he had to do a double consciousness. Okay, that's how the man tells them that they are, and they accept it. But I also have to tell them that you're an African. So he had that to it. He was very skilled. So a previous student said the science, I think you'll be back with it. The science of strategy. You have to have a strategy to go forward. So here we are today celebrating, we have a ceremony to our true identity. Who are we? So we are African people. Somebody also mentioned about melanin. Right. Melanin is a factor. Not only biological, but neurological, psychological. We say it again, the way we carry, the way we dance, the way our movements. Yes. The way we celebrate. We are people who celebrate everything. Life. That's why when a woman gets pregnant, we have a baby shower, right? We're always celebrating. The birth of the baby is not a celebration, right? When they go to school, it's a celebration. When they graduate, it's a celebration. When they marry, it's a celebration. And when they make the transition, it's a celebration. What do you think all those pyramids are? It's a celebration going into the next transition.
Rites of passage.
Right, thank you, Queen Approach. Rite of passage. Okay, so that's the why. The philosophical part as to who we are. Let's go to the what. So first is celebration. The second part is the what? Consolidation. We have to consolidate those gains. All those gains that we have made, if we don't consolidate it, then we just go by the wayside. So again, if we inherit a house, if we inherit an orchard, fine. So people before us planted those and we just eat. But we can't just do that. We have to also plant other seeds. We have to consolidate the gains. In consolidating, we have to have, as a people, we have to have Pan-Africanism as our main ideology. Otherwise, we are lost. If we are traveling by a ship, what would we use if we are traveling by a ship? A compass. We use a compass to show the direction. Now, the popular thing nowadays when you're driving is what? You check your what? You want to go from one place? Your GPS. Your GPS. The satellite is up there and it picks up your GPS. It gives you a sense of direction. So we have to have position, platform, program, and project. So we started off by celebrating, so we are reflecting where we were, where we are now, and where we want to be, where we're going. We all have to constant reflecting, analyzing, reevaluating. So we made some errors there, you need to do a correction, reevaluation, reexamination. And finally, reconfiguration, a strategy, a methodology. How are we going to do it? Again, Brother Ross, prior to it, we were diving. How are we going to go forward? Black people, we're all over the world, right? But we didn't come over there naturally. Other people dragged us, kidnapped us, forced us out of Africa, and now we're trying to get back. Something like you have from Jamaica, you say a vase, not up here, you say a vase. So you drop the thing, and it's broken up, and you want to get it back together, right? It's a puzzle, it's a riddle. How do we put back this together? Back identity, because we see ourselves as Jamaican, as Asian, African American, as Nigerian, Ghanaian, etc., etc., etc. Christian, Muslim, and even the races, the different houses and mansions. So here we are all over. So we have to reconfigure it. How are we going to go forward? And this is why you need organizations. We need organization. And again, Kwame Ture. In fact, this week I was having a dialogue, a discussion. What do you think is one of the greatest occupations for human beings? Our profession, our trade. Some people say, for instance, medicine, right? A nurse or a doctor, that's a worthy profession in healing people, in healing people. Some would say it's a teacher, right? That art, that science of teaching our people. Some would say it's a clergy person. Some would say it's security. But I would say, if we have to point to one, it's organizing. That thing of organizing. I mean, we have to really give some credit. Let's just give some credit to these organizers and others. To organize our people. I mean, teachers in a classroom. Okay? And everybody who teach informally into a classroom to keep those 25 children or 30 children in order, to keep people anywhere you are. If you're a supervisor for people, even your own children, right? You see little children sometimes, don't you have to grab their hand because they want to do their own thing, right? When if you're going to the market, they want to tell you what to buy, right? Okay, and you have to direct them. The science of organizing, I think, is the most worthy of a profession. So family, I just got some pictures just quickly to just run through some of the people. So many, we were saying them earlier. Who is this? Francis. Recently, so we just give it. Dr. Sharifa Salman from Wadu last year. And these are some martyrs, there are some sisters who the system taking out, right? Kindred Chapman, Sandra Bland, we most know about Sandra Bland, Renetta Turner, Joyce Collins, Ramkina Jones, and all the other brothers, Sean Bell, all of them. This is Brother Malcolm. This is Brother Adam Clayton Powell. What is that phrase that he had?
What's in your hand?
Thank you, sister. We need to use what's in our hand. Because sometimes we complain, sometimes we always complain, right? We don't know what to do with the man's above us. But whatever we have in our hand, metaphorically but also literally, whatever we have, whatever, like my sister, Right? My sister did a dance. And some people might find it entertaining, but shock away people is what the sister was doing. Sister Idama, Queen Idama, was that beating down the system. Of course. See? So she's using what's in her hand, or her head, or her dance, or rhythm, and you to my sister, right? Sister Love, right? Sister Truth. Alright, Sister Truth. Like you say, Sister Truth, the truth, right? So dancers, and by the way, speak about the drum. You know why they were so rough on us when we were in chattel slavery? What did they do with the drum? They what? Dancing! They said no drum playing. No drum playing. Because that we use the drum as a universal language. Don't we? That's right. As soon as I saw you started dancing, right? On the drum, I saw the children there. They was like quiet, they got up. It's in our DNA. So they said to themselves, quote unquote, master, background said, this drum is very dangerous. Because even though we take important quote from different tribes and they can't communicate, but once they hear the drum, they all start to communicate. And we send messages, right? Didn't we? When you're washing the clothes, when you hear a certain beat, that means that we're going to be master case right now, right? We're going to burn it right now. So they knew. So whatever we have in our hand, we need to use it. This is brother was towards the branch and the African for the theater. And these are a lot of our different markers. And then I use it to advertise also, remember the trip to our ancestors, which will be June 11th at Corner Island. And this, of course, Queen Black Rose would be the UNI thing, the Marcus Garvey. And this, of course, is talk about pictures. This is a lot of them which I just mentioned about three of them. It's Imperial Majesty, Jomo Kenyatta, and Nairiri. When they were coming together as brothers to form the OAU, all these different groups, and up here is the Imperial Majesty on the side for Kwame Nkrumah. And this, of course, never forget Haiti, the Caribbean, the first and only revolution of black people, of human beings who overthrow and rule themselves. Exactly, right? So family, once again, I'm from the World African Diaspora Union, and one of the things we're trying to do is to return, go forward, my brother, to Africa, to reclaim Africa. Africa is ours, and we see Africa being taken over by some strange set of people, right? Any and everybody can walk right into Africa, right? We can call the Chinese are flooding in. And there's a book about Africa's second continent, meaning the Chinese continent. We already have the Europeans, we have the Indians, we have the Russians, we have everybody, we have the areas of control. So what about us? So we are, if you want to call it, negotiation, talking to the African Union and say, we want the Honorable Marcus Garvey's plan of going back to Africa, that Africa for the Africans where?
At home and abroad.
The current buzzword of the diaspora, but abroad. So we are in negotiation with the African Union, and we kept our meeting there today because we want this thing, as we said to our brother, when it took us out. Did we have a passport when we were in Africa 500 years ago? No, we came out. So why you need how many countries are continent are in Africa today? Anybody know? Oh, Africa is split up now. How many countries in Africa? 54, 55, right. Morocco claimed that they're not part of it because they're more Europeans, right? So they claim that they're not part. Morocco, that's right. Morocco said, I'm not part of you people. Right. Let them get off of the continent here and those Iran up there. So they claim, but because of South Sudan now, the latest one. So we have a 454. So that means we, as African people, we would have to have 54, 55 passports walking around with. Right? You understand that? That people in Africa, like in Ghana and Ivory Coast, we're the same people who come from Africa aligned and cut it into. They can't even go across to their brothers and sisters. They need a passport. Not to mention us from over the diaspora. And how many countries we live in? How many countries in so-called South America, the Caribbean, North America? So how many passports will we have to walk all around? So we are saying we're an African citizen, right? By genetics and by birth and consumption. Family, thank you very much for allowing me to say these few words. It's always a pleasure to be with your family. And we say, forward ever, backwards never. Peace and blessings, family.
Brother Ital Kofi, give it up. Organization. We're gonna continue our program. We're going to ask the representative for the December 12th movement to come forward and bring us their greetings. April to the stage.
Celebrating greetings from the December 12th movement. As always, we consider it an honor to be in the presence of you brothers and sisters in this organization. For years we have worked in solidarity in order to bring about the collective strength and harmony among African peoples. Our agenda is just as yours. We want to see a liberated, a free Africa. We want to see our people, wherever they are, be in a position to live their lives to its fullest. Being able to afford the best in health care, in education, with regard to employment. We want the highest quality of life because we deserve the highest quality of life. So we thank you for allowing us to be a part of this experience and this program. We've had a long day in terms of the December 12th movement. In our own way of commemorating African Liberation Day, one of the strategies that we've taken upon us in order to liberate black people is we are working on a voter registration campaign. And let me be clear by first of all saying that we totally denounce the political system as it exists here in America.
That's right.
We are neither voting for Democrats, nor Republicans, nor independents, whatever that is. But in order for us as African people to be liberated, we have decided that we were going to, with courage and boldness and having a clear historical analysis, we were going to forge forward and we are going to push for the choice. And simply what the choice means is, what can I do, or what can I see as being in the best interest of African people? Throughout our existence here, when we were allowed the ability to vote as people of African descent, we were told if you go out and vote, your circumstances are going to be better. Your lives are going to improve. You're Americans now. However, when we look honestly at history, our circumstances have not changed. Regardless of which of the indicators we look at, there's statistics that show that our conditions are either the same or worse than they were even 10 years ago. Again, we're talking about indicators like healthcare. Our circumstances are deplorable. Education, black education, the school to prison pipeline. We see it all the time. High rates of unemployment, unimaginable. Gentrification, where are we going to live? So we're saying that we know that the system doesn't work. In 1956, going back that far, W.E.B. Du Bois wrote a paper that says, "Why I Don't Vote." And in this paper, he charts every year when he goes to vote how he actually analyzed, well, the candidate that he thought would work in the interests of black people, help us to be less oppressed. And he charts every year, same old thing, same old thing. So he comes to a point in the paper where he says, I'm not going to vote anymore. This was 56. He says there are no two evils. There's one evil. And despite who we elect, our circumstances are going to be the same. It means nothing. So as black people, our challenge is to always come to a point where we are courageous and say, we know it's not working. We're going to be honest with ourselves. And the next step is, what do I do to make things better? Yes. And the December 12th movement, we are pushing forward for the choice. In the spirit of Adam Clayton Powell. That's right. In the spirit of Fannie Lou Hamer. And of course, in the spirit of Malcolm X. The choices that we're talking about are three, as my shirt shows. The first is the plebiscite, and I'll describe what that is. The second one is reparations. The third is self-determination, which is really what it's all about. They're all about self-determination. Simply, the first one, plebiscite, means that we have a referendum. It means that we have a choice to choose who governs us, who is our leadership, and exactly how we want to be led as African people. The plebiscite means we make a choice. And certainly we all know what reparations is. Repair, to be made whole from the damage caused by years and years of enslavement. Both as chattel slavery and the enslavement that faces us each and every day when we talk about mass incarceration, when we talk about poor health care. I remember just a few months ago reading in the paper how there was a sister in Florida who went to the hospital because she was having respiratory distress. So she was examined and the doctors determined, nothing's wrong with you, you're fine, go home. The sister said, but wait a minute, I'm still suffering. I'm having a hard time breathing. They said, listen, you gotta get out of here. She refused to leave. The police was summoned and she was literally arrested, put in handcuffs, and brought by the system on the street. And it was there that she died. So this is just one of many painful examples about how we've got to be self-determining. And we need reparations so that we can prepare, among many things, the ability to have and maintain appropriate health care. And that includes less stress, circumstances that are conducive to our psychological and psychosocial well-being, as well as access to food that's nutritious for us, that's not killing us, as opposed to existing in these food deserts. Lastly, we talk about self-determination. And that means let us decide for ourselves, because we are more than capable of deciding for ourselves what's best for me, what's best for you. And certainly not on an individual scale, not by any means. But we're talking about how do we bless, how do we make productive, how do we make whole masses of African people. So consider the choice. We choose. Nobody chooses for us, because we've decided that we're the brightest, we're the strongest, we're the most beautiful, inside and out. And we have, it's our obligation to our children, to their children, to our elders, our elders who remain, that we have an obligation to go forth and say, listen, I'm not giving in to you anymore. I'm not accepting your lies. You're not hoodwinking me anymore. I'm not tolerating it. I know what's best for me, and I'm going to put in place those systems and those circumstances that help me live out my life to its fullest. I'm a human being, and I deserve nothing but the best. And this is a decision that we make every day in all of our contacts with one another, in our contacts even with other people. That we make a decision from here and from here that we're going to choose what is best for us each and every single day. And we develop on that. Life is proactive. We have an idea. It's about how do we grow it? How do we expand it? How do we make it more clear? And how do we make it more concrete? So that it's not just an idea, but something that we see come into fruition, because again, it's something that we have a right to, something that we deserve. The very best, because we're the very best.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
We deserve the very best. We deserve the very best. What I understand, Sister April, and she said it well, is that we need to critically organize ourselves. Because in the final analysis, it is organization that decide everything. It is organization that decide everything. The choice they give us in American politics is to decide which millionaire we want to support. The interests of the millionaire and that of the working people are diametrically opposed to each other. When you find a millionaire and a worker in the same organization, it is the millionaire idea that always carry. And the millionaire idea always carry because they're the one with the dollar to buy commercial, to buy lobbyists. Isn't it criminal that today in American politics it will cost $1 billion to elect the next president? And we call this democracy. It sounds more to me like hypocrisy. You know? What that say to the person who have never even seen 10,000 in their life? How do we get power? Organizing ourselves critically. Organizing ourselves critically. Change up a little bit. I'm going to ask Tunde to come forward to the podium and maybe he'll bless us with some poem.
Greetings, family.
Greetings.
It's good to see everybody here in their spirit and their colors. You know, just wonderful. I always find when I come to, you know, a cultural event, it's cleansing. You know, you need a reset sometimes. Just living your life, trying to catch up. You need to take that time for yourself because you spend a lot of your time working for someone else, trying to get a paycheck, trying to make the rent, everything else. So I'm honored to be here in front of you guys. I'm going to perform 2 short poems. The first one is called Fifth Dimension is One, and it's a poem that touches on a few different topics, but I think ultimately it's a poem that's about unity, and I think that's very appropriate right now, or at least a hope for unity. So, and the second poem I'm going to do, I actually just found last week the 3rd verse to it, which I lost for a long time. So if you heard me perform this poem before, you never heard the full version. But I'm going to have to read that off the paper because I haven't seen that once in a while. So, how do I break through the 5th dimension? Time is ending as I begin my day. I'm running out of time to break through the 4th wall. Ancestors reap the pain and sorrow of tears that drip into the scorched earth. Red dirt, blood red, bloodshot eyes, green envy, the color of currency that buys airtime. By a voice, goodbye to hope. Good guys buy hope by selling drugs, depressing the thought pressed into my consciousness like Afro picks pressed into my no longer nappy here, no longer happy here, nappy here, pressed till it's straight enough to pass. Passers by wonder, were you really born there? Where? The 3rd world? There. Red blood flows through blue veins as green eyes see white collar crimes is less black, less urban, less problematic, less poor, where less is more. Excuse me, but for a second I thought we all were one. Whoa! I have to take out the piece of paper. Like I said, I just found the 3rd verse. It's been missing for like 8 years. So. This one is called I Am Conception. I am conception. In a past life I passed part blessings, blessed with that which questions which direction to walk down dark and narrow streets. Birds flock to the crumbs on the corner beneath my feet. Discovered love from young when first I reached above the clouds to walk with God. Visions of a city crawling through tunnels with dreams that float in the wind like sand on the beach, back to the original source, trying to catch a river's worth of memories. Eyelids roll back like nighttime sky. Arms still too short to box with God. I am deception. Stay chasing the devil. Pray for hell when it rains. Pray to rain in this hell that we live in. Seconds beating faster than minutes when speed limits is just a suggestion. Society's menace. Heart triple his size, side of his pale brown eyes. Crews transporting weapons through desert Alps with huge discretion, choosing when to unload. I testify. Get this load off my chest. You could question why I start loathing the tech. Cause hope don't feed no soul in this, no holes barred in this cold ass world. I am repentance. Our pent-up resistance for being pushed down persistently. Neglected throughout history, we find every reason to stand strong in a sandstorm of abhorrent days where tortured races forced in cages for abhorrent rages. What happened to these raisins in the sun? Our fortress taken. Praying for sunlight and gorgeous acres and rising with the moon. What happens to a dream deferred? A costly stasis. Bear witness the pillaging of villages like syphilis where violence spreads like germs. Bodies eradicated from their tombs, stripped of our voices far too soon. We stand with ancestors to exclaim, I am here.
All right.
Into the cousins. We're gonna, like I said, our culture is dynamic, our culture don't stay still, we are always improving. And we can see it from one generation to the next. We have a young brother amongst us who's gonna do a song for us. We're gonna ask Brother Conscious to come forward and bless us with his.
I just want to praise to everybody so you can all see the blaze of the wind. I wrote this when Ferguson was hopping, and that was a meditation on everything that was going on at the time. So it's just like money frustration had us feeling all kind of ways. I saw them soul looking like them all kind of pain. My woman smile though she feeling all kind of pain. Every day we push for a brighter day. It them positive vibes. Bad mind have to fade away. Life is divine. I not gonna let you stray. Strength from the tribe. All I want that's a unity. Death before dishonor plus loyalty. That we say. Come back, we rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Hey, yeah. Because we wise as one, wise as one. Whoa, come back, we rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Hey, yeah. Because we wise as one, wise as one. Yeah. Fire, I show you these things are connected. Them keep us separated, call them fear the collective. How many made it? Look who them selected. Ancestors feel disrespected. Message, illusion of inclusion, had us feeling all lazy. And the herb make your vision get hazy. Chemicals in food make the children go crazy. Them spray the whip and start tears. Rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Yeah, because we wise as one, wise as one. Ooh, come let me rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Because we wise as one, wise as one. Yeah, how on my fist pump, how my oneness. How my love my Nubian woman hop on this. How my that means I'm on this. We don't forget to smell the flowers. His name, how mama keep calm. Honda Islam. High self Lord and Master Islam. Love, fear, no disaster. You've been one. We find comfort all in storms and waves. Rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Because we wise as one, wise as one. Ooh, come make we rise as one, rise as one, rise as one. Because we wise as one, wise as one. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Oneness, the mission and the liberty is not a mission like something that is just given from the Creator, but it's life. Just that's the way I see it. Still, I'm learning that everybody don't just see it the way that you see it all the time or have the same intention, even if you have the same intentions. So it's about living what you are living what you're supposed to live, how you're supposed to live, and respecting everybody else, living what they live and what they're supposed to live, so that we can have an objective. At least that's the way I see it. If we have a collective goal, and we can respect everybody for doing what they're supposed to do, then we wiser as one. You know? And then we can rise as one. But how can we be respectful at the top if we're not respectful towards each other at the bottom? What do you expect happens when money comes? That's war. So rise as one, you know. Love all y'all. I'm thankful and it's an honor to be here, and I just look forward to everything good and positive that comes of everything that we do from now forward. Gotcha.
Give it up, give it up.